Hello everybody, I'm cocoacosmos and I want to talk about the final season of Squid Game. There were highs and there were lows, but mostly lows in my opinion. The ending was unsatisfactory to me, but also reminded me that Korean media does not care about a happy ending. Not saying that an ending has to be happy to be good, but something just didn't feel right. Let me explain. Before we get to the ending though, we gotta talk about what led to it. So in the first 5-10 minutes, we see everyone's fate from where we last left off. Nayeon's dad survives the coup, Triangle Guard Noel has a plan, they gave Gihan back, and Daeho is looking real guilty right about now. This man is a terrible detective, and this man carried. Gihan has a valid crash out considering he lost his best friend and it seems to be for nothing. Plus, they won't even let him die. Then he's just numb. Let me tell you, I was so happy this lady got snatched up for antagonizing him. Bro has the 1,000-yard stare and you thought this was a good idea? Deserved it. I was sick of her. Tired. Say what you want about Namgyu, but he was a damn good antagonist. I can't call him a villain, but I can say he definitely was not the good guy. He did his job. Hyunju was prepared to take the blame because she didn't get the magazines back in time, but 007 rightfully pointed out the real villain, Daeho. Since then, Gihan decided it was on site. He was gonna handle it. But here's my thing. Season 2's finale led us to believe that he couldn't do it because of PTSD, which would be understandable and a much more interesting storyline. After the next game of hide and seek starts, he said it was all a lie and he was just a coward. I don't like that. Don't like that one bit. Daeho was my little pancake and they made him an asshole for no reason. Looking at the mom and son duo, when they got their teams, I feel like one of them should have switched so they could be on the same team instead of what they thought would be easiest on one of them. It was clear they both weren't hunters, so they both should have been hiders, in my humble opinion. But, plot I guess. I'm also surprised the guards let them do all this fussing. Usually they'd shut it down. Hypothetically, in this situation, I would have preferred to be a seeker, because I know for sure I can't really overpower anyone, but at least I have a weapon and could probably team up with another seeker temporarily. Gihan was like the Terminator, had one target and didn't care about anything else.
You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing?
Do you know how much rage and hate you gotta have in your heart to end someone with your bare hands? My poor honey bun Minsu. I was rooting for him so bad. Even more so after this! Deserved! She knew she was a fraud and led these people to their demise. Oh, and this is when I knew we definitely weren't seeing the exit. Hyunju was handling business. They forgot who she was for a second. I'm not talking about Myungi until I get to the last episode because, ooh boy. Except, he didn't have to do this. I'm not trying to hear he didn't know. I'm not. Sorry. I really hate that Gunja had to do what she did. She really had a choice, but I understand why she had to make that one. And the whole time, I'm trying to figure out what they're gonna do with this newborn, fresh-ass infant. Like, this is most definitely not the environment for one of those. See, here's my thing. Why in the hell are they speaking like someone made them up?
Shall we raise a glass to the memory of the legendary Chairman O?
The only one that was speaking naturally was the one supposedly drunk, which is saying something. Gihan went back on punishment because he keeps trying to self-harm, which is so weird to see since they don't have a problem with anyone else doing such. We know why, but still, weird. I enjoy the voting mechanic actually being utilized, but it feels ultimately useless because we knew those games weren't gonna end. Minsu wanted his get back, and who could fault him? I like how they told Gihan to vote, knowing that they put him in timeout.
I almost cried when I heard that old lady's speech.
Don't include them no more. Hearing that she feels she was nearly responsible for her son's passing by being the last straw, and that she carried that forever really hurt me. Especially since he ended up passing due to her anyways. I'm not blaming her. She had a decision to make, and unfortunately, it costed her son's life instead of the baby's. I just wish her story didn't end the way it did. I understand why, but it still sucks. Okay, but that gambling one was his fault though. Most of episode 3 showed how ass of a detective Junho is when a regular ass person found out that the captain was clearly a traitor. And Noel's plan was to get Nayeon's dad out of the game to get back to his daughter. It was not to end the games permanently, no matter what it may look like by the end. Then we see the next game is Jump Rope, which is debatably the easiest game in the entire series. I'm telling you, all of these people should not have lost. The only one that makes sense was Namgyu's. Rip King, but Minsu needed that retribution. He didn't think he was gonna last anyways without his, helpers. The shock and awe was hilarious though. They were like, damn, it really knocked his ass off for real. The game was so easy, they had to stretch it with nonsense to thin the herd. Also, he shook this baby up for sure. Like, absolutely. Speaking of which, did we just forget she went through labor and her only problem is her ankle? There should be a lot more going on with her. This is arguably the funniest game too. These reactions are too much. But unfortunately, this was also Junhee's end. For no reason, honestly, but, you know. What's crazy is he lost 2 daughter figures in these games, and his own daughter wants nothing to do with him. Now, why would they put that baby in the game? I get it's for their entertainment or whatever, but it doesn't even make sense. Like, hello? They're saying it because they're greedy. I'm saying it because technically the baby never agreed to be a part of this. She was just born here. They said themselves that the baby can't even vote because she's incapable of making decisions. And baby's supposed to eat every couple hours or something? Never mind the waste. It's just a lot of technicals that just weren't thought about here. Also, I noticed that CGI baby never opened her eyes once. The cops told it on Woo-suk, so he had to go take matters into his own hands. Junho saw no signs, even though this man X'd a large area of this map, and weird things with this guy keep happening. Even this guy picked up on it. This group here decided to get rid of Gihyun, Minsu, and the baby. Yes, even the baby daddy, but we're gonna get to him, just hang tight. So here's the thing about scheming in a death game. You have to trust that these untrustworthy ass people won't literally stab you in the back. And this group has already proved that they're evil as shit. Then, as if things can't get any worse, the masked man invites Gihyun up to the office. He has a proposition for him. Eliminate all the people that want to hurt the baby. Then, after boldly supplying Gihyun with a weapon, he reveals himself, which is crazy to me, but alright, I guess. Especially after you've seen what happened to Daeho. He should have done it, to be honest. 100 has well overstayed his welcome. But then we saw the masked man's backstory, and I'm glad we did, because how do you even get swept up in this? It almost makes me feel bad for him. I don't though. So let's talk about this last game and this goddamn ending, because let me tell you something. I get it, I promise you I get it, but please. So, at least 3 people have to be eliminated, right? You have to hit the button for the round to start. So if you eliminate someone before the round starts, it doesn't count. First eliminated is Minsu, unfortunately. My sweetums.
No! Are you dead ass right now?
I knew he wasn't gonna win as long as Mr. Main Character Baby Protector 456 was still here. Honestly, it's probably better this way, because the amount of guilt he's carrying paired with a newfound addiction would be hell on earth for him. Now the second round is where everything turns up.
저희가 좋은 곳으로 보내줄게요.
Sending it to a better place is crazy. So the original plan was to separate the baby from Gihyun, but things start going left nearly immediately. The group immediately turns on each other. Okay, someone explain to me like I'm 5. Why is it so bad that he escaped exactly? They're clearly not worried about people snitching. Is it because it's breaking the rules of the game? I don't get it. Deception! Well, they lost a guy already. Then they come up with the idea to draw stuff, but Myungi knows better. Listen to what he says here.
저도 준이 데리고 여기서 나가려고 했어요. 근데 준이가 저를 믿어주지 않았어요.
Important. Long story short, squad wipe. They even prepared a sacrifice. Well, said sacrifice decided he wanted to go on his own terms. So getting to the last round, Youngie decides he wants the money all to himself. Baby be damned. Now, I have a theory. Youngie never cared about that baby. From what we know, Youngie and Junhee weren't together after the crypto issue, and he ghosted her. He thought that was best for Junhee to keep her safe and told her to get rid of said baby. Junhee had no other family, so she kept the baby to start a new one. He didn't give a hot diggity damn about that baby. He just wanted Junhee back in his life. He gets how things were between them, and he tried his very best during the games to help her out, but after what happened with Hyunju, any trust that was even hoping to be built went out of the window. She hated his guts and wanted him nowhere near the baby. Now that Junhee is gone, that baby don't mean anything to him, even if it is half Junhee. So I'm not surprised how this turned out. Very unfortunate outcome from Youngie. But no one hit the goddamn round starting button. Oh, and the Coast Guard is about to discover the Squid Game's island. To the surprise of me, actually, the baby won. Because Gi-hun sacrificed himself. Now, I wasn't expecting it to go down like that. But I guess there was no other choice. No, this isn't the part of the ending that upsets me. Well, kinda is, because they both could've walked out. But it's this here. They done hit the self-destruct button, and now Junho's whole thing was a waste of time. Didn't expose nobody, didn't arrest nobody, got no proof, didn't even catch his brother. Like, there's no way. It can't be a way. Like, do you know how much shit this is? They got a whole ass cremation area. So neither 456 nor Junho did anything actually. I'm convinced he was only there to protect the baby. The rest was a bittersweet, happy ending, I suppose. Nayeon is okay, but the dad doesn't remember his savior. And Inho gave his brother the baby after 6 months along with the baby's winnings. So, did he just raise the baby for 6 months and decided he didn't want the baby anymore and thought Junho could totally be a dad? I'm so confused, actually. He could have just put the baby up for adoption or something. Did Junho ever say he wanted kids? I don't like the ending though, because after Inho drops off Gi-hun's daughter's inheritance, we see this. It doesn't even make sense. The general American population doesn't even know what Dakchi is. And the dub still sounds stiff as hell, even if they're in America.
Alright, let's go again.
But what do y'all think? Did you enjoy the final season? Let me know in the comments below. Cocoa Cosmos out.